Hey friends, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new vlog. So I've been really bad at vlogging this year, and it's kind of funny because I said that that's the one thing that I wanted to do more of in 2022 was to vlog, and it hasn't gone very well. I don't know why, I just don't think of picking up the camera and like doing things and, you know, doing themes and what I'm up to because I'm a pretty boring person. So honestly, I don't think of picking up the camera. But I saw over on Katrina Brown's channel, she did a couple of vlogs that were themed, and she did a creepy doll themed vlog, and I thought it was fantastic. So throughout the month of October, so this is vlog number 1, so throughout the month of October I am going to be doing themed vlogs. So this vlog is going to be a creepy doll themed vlog as well, and so our theme this week is going to be all about those creepy little creatures. And as for me, let me tell you, creepy dolls really do it for me. I told a story on a video not long ago about Annabelle, when I went to see Annabelle in the theater and got home and I was so scared, and Matt told me to bring the garbage to the basement, and I was so scared I just ran through the basement, flicked the garbage, and like started like pressing the button to get back upstairs. So creepy dolls really do it for me. So we're gonna be reading House of Small Shadows by Adam Nevill. I love Adam Nevill's writing. He has this knack of just making things extra creepy and very atmospheric and very closed in. Like you get this claustrophobic feeling with his writing, and I've heard great things about this book. So if you've never read this one, it's about Red House. And Red House was owned by the late M.H. Mason, who was a famous puppeteer. And so he created all kinds of creepy dolls. So he's dead, and we're following Catherine Howard, who is an antique dealer, I believe, or she works with an antique dealer kind of firm, and she gets to go into the house and value all of these antique dolls and puppets and all of this kind of stuff. But creepy things start to happen, and I'm so excited for this. So right now, it's still September. Actually, right now, it is very hot today. It's 36 degrees, it's overcast, it's smoky outside, so I am staying in. We were out this morning, and I'm going to tell you about that in a second, but I couldn't wait to get home into my nice cool house, and I'm just going to spend the afternoon reading. I'm so excited to pick up this book. So it says at the bottom, Red House has secrets as dreadful and as dark as those from Catherine's own past. At night, the building comes alive with noises and movements, footsteps and the fleeting glimpses of small shadows on the stairs. And soon, the barriers between reality, sanity, and nightmare begin to collapse. So excited to read this book. I picked this one up a couple of months ago, and then I just never got to it. So really excited to be getting to it now. And I'm also reading on Audible. I'm reading an audiobook as well. It's called Cults. So I actually started it last month, and it's just been, you know, carrying along when I'm cleaning or whatever. I'll put it on. And I'm also reading Gallows Hill by Darcy Coates. So really excited for all the spooky feels, because we're into September now, and the entire month of September is Halloween Eve, right? So excited to read this with you guys. So once I get a little bit through it this afternoon, I will touch back with you guys again and let you know how it's going. But before we sign off, so we had a really great morning this morning. Like I said, it's super hot here. It's 36 degrees today, and we don't get that kind of heat typically. And on top of that, it must be smoke blowing in from fires from like in BC, which happens. And the sun this morning was like magenta pink, and it was huge, and it was just really eerie. So it was so funny that Matt and I had made a plan that we were going to go down to South Calgary. We live outside the city, so if we're going, you know, into the south part of the city, we make a whole deal out of it. So we decided that we were going to go down, and we wanted to go to Spirit Halloween, and then we ended up going to Cravings for breakfast. So we had no idea that Cravings served breakfast. It's a place that Matt used to live just down the road from it, and it holds a little bit of a special place for us. We haven't been to a sit-down meal in like at least 3 to 4 years. So we were so excited to go out. I'll insert a little bit of footage here from what we had. It was so nice. There was nobody there. I believe there was like 2 other tables of like 2 people. So it was really nice and quiet just to go down, and we had a really, really nice breakfast together that had wonderful coffee from this local company and fresh orange juice, and you know, we had a meal and it was really, really nice. And then we left there and went on over to Spirit. So I didn't get any footage of Spirit because it was literally like lined up outside waiting for them to open, and the guy that was, you know, the owner or the worker for the day showed up at like literally 10 o'clock on the button. So he hadn't even opened up yet and there was people lined up outside. So I didn't get any footage of Spirit. I just wanted to get in, get what I wanted, and get out. So I will show you guys what I got at Spirit, and from another couple of places too. So yesterday I went back to Bath and Body Works and got some more soaps and pocket backs and wallflowers and stuff like that. So that's really boring. You guys don't have to see that. But I did, because I said I got this little guy. He just happens to be right next to me. I got this little guy in one of our Halloween hauls. So somebody in my town had another little plug-in wallflower for sale, and it was like half the price of the one that I wanted. Like, I'm kind of kicking myself for not getting the one with the witch's cottage and it projects Happy Halloween, but they're pretty expensive. Like, you know, they're like $40 or whatever. So I didn't want to spend another $40 to get 2. So she had one on garage sale just for a couple of bucks. And this one lights up as well. He's just a little haunted house, a little ghosty in here. Isn't he cute? So adorable. So I've got him for upstairs, and I've got this little one for my foyer. So I was super happy to find him for like secondhand. And then she also had listed on her site, if anybody knows what this is. So this is one of the Happy Meal pumpkins from 1993. So I love vintage stuff like this, like vintage Halloween stuff. And I remember when they used to have the Happy Meal pumpkins when I was a kid. And I was hoping to get one from the 80s, but 1993 is still fairly old. So he's super cute. He's gonna go way up on the top of my shelf, and his little stem actually has a cookie cutter on the inside. So that was back when, you know, restaurants used to do little things like that. So he's super cute. He was only, I think, like $8 or something. So I bought him, and he's gonna be really fun to put out with my Halloween decor as well. So we also got some food while we were out this morning. We had to go grocery shopping, so we, you know, got our regular groceries and stuff. And they had this little pack of candies. And so I like that they split it, because usually I don't want to buy a big one, all of one thing, and you want a little bit of variety. So this one has candy corns, little jelly pumpkins, there's regular jellies, so we have purple and orange and green jellies, and there are jelly beans, so orange and black jelly beans, which I love. And I know we got, don't judge me, but I love black candy. Black jelly beans, so good, and I totally blame my father for that one. So I actually got 2 of these. So we'll crack into one tonight while we're watching our movie for date night. I'm gonna make a spooky charcuterie board for dinner, and we're gonna crack into one of these. And I also got another one just that I'm gonna put in the cupboard and bring out during actual Halloween. So we had that. And then if you're Canadian, you know Canadian Tire, of course. And so if you don't know, Canadian Tire is a really big retailer here in Canada, and they're like Canada's junk drawer is how I've heard it described before. So you could get everything done there. So you could get automotive, like obviously you could buy tires and stuff for your car. You could get oil changes and stuff like that. But you can also get appliances and camping equipment and coffee. We actually had to go in to buy coffee. And you can get Halloween decorations and gardening supplies and all kinds of stuff. And they have a line of food products, like junk food. And it's called Frank. And the marketing on this is so clever. So Frank is a little dude, and every single type of candy or chocolate or chip or whatever they have has really cute little marketing slogans. So this one, it says, Frank celebrates the major milestones, because it is Canadian Tire's 100th anniversary this year. And this is poutine, or poutine, flavored rippled potato chips. So if you don't know what poutine is, it's basically fries, and it's topped with cheese curds, and then it's topped with gravy, and it's a Canadian specialty. I had poutine yesterday. I usually have it a couple of times a month. I absolutely love it. So I thought it was really cute that they had something that was very, very Canadian put into a chip, and it's got the Frank labeling on there. So I got this one for me, and Matthew got the Frank barbecues all year round. And so these are kettle cooked barbecue chips. So he got those ones. It is a long weekend, so it's Labor Day, and so we got a few more treats than what we usually do because Matthew has a long weekend, and I'm actually off of work next week. So excited. So excited. The basement really needs to be cleaned up. My shelves need to be cleaned up, and we need to get decorating for Halloween because I haven't even started yet, and it's like September 3rd. So that's unacceptable. Matt keeps asking me, like, when are you going to start decorating for Halloween? So those are a couple of food items that we got. I just wanted to share quickly with you guys. So we'll get into the Spirit Halloween haul. So I didn't get a whole lot for actual Halloween because I've bought a lot of decor this year already. So I wanted to get a few clothing items and a few other tchotchkes and bits and bobs and stuff. But the biggest reason why I go to Spirit every year is for their mugs. So I don't typically buy a whole lot from their licensed lines, like their decor. You know, they have Beetlejuice and Hocus Pocus and all of that kind of stuff. I don't typically decorate with that kind of thing because it's usually got, you know, big branding on it and everything. And some people love that stuff, and that's great. But just for me, I don't usually buy a whole lot of that decor sort of stuff. But what I do love is the mugs. So I've got a Ouija mug. I've got 2 Hocus Pocus mugs. And this year, I couldn't choose. So I had to get both. And there were even more there that I wanted, but I settled on 2. So the first one, because we love Oogie Boogie, I got an Oogie Boogie mug. So this is going to be great for my morning shakes. I sometimes will have a peppermint mocha shake, and I'll have it in a spooky mug because he's huge. This is a massive mug. Fairly expensive, you know, they're $21, but of course they're licensed, and really they're not that much more expensive than the Michaels mugs that were like half of this size. Just picking on Michaels again. So we got the Oogie Boogie, and then I couldn't come home without this one. So this is an American Horror Story themed mug, and I don't really care about the American Horror Story on it, but it says, "Normal people scare me." And they do. And it's red on the outside, black on the inside, and Matt, that's his favorite color combination, is red and black. So when we have our tea times, he'll probably gravitate towards this one. So I bought both because I loved the Oogie Boogie and Matt loved the Normal People Scare Me. So we came home with both mugs. Usually I only get one per year, but you know, YOLO. And then I was so disappointed because I went to Michael's yesterday and picked up some more garlands for my kitchen, and I got a whole bunch of their candles, their seasonal candles. I didn't get any last year. They only had a small amount and they were gone within like the first couple of days. So I'm trying to stock up on enough candles during this season for like the entire year because we love the smell of fall candles, like cinnamon and cloves and cider and apples and all of that sort of thing. We don't like summery or springy type smells. Anyway, I had planned on picking up a couple of more things from their Halloween section to put on my kitchen table upstairs because I'm doing kind of like a fortune teller sort of theme, which is kind of gone out the window a little bit because, guys, there's like nothing left. It's like it hit September 1st and everybody realized it was Halloween and Michael's is getting cleared out. So I didn't find any of the pieces that I wanted. So when I went to Spirit, I got one of the Gothic Romance, from their Gothic Romance line, one of these candles. So this is going to go on my kitchen table along with a couple of other pieces. We're still going to try to do the fortune teller theme up there. We'll see how it goes. This is why I should have just gotten those pieces as soon as I saw them, because you know, they were going to be gone. So I could check Michael's online, they might have it, but I didn't really want to pay for shipping, and I mean, we're into September now, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go ahead with it, which is totally fine. I've got a shit ton of decor. So we got one of their candles, and I got a whole bunch of their press-on nails. So if you've ever used these before, they don't work very well, but if you prime the nail a little bit and use a bit of extra glue, you can get them to last for a little while. And I usually just get them for like special days, videos, pictures, that sort of thing. So I got these ones. These are sort of a like goth nail set, black and white. And I got these orange and black ones, so more Halloween-y. And then I just got a set of plain matte black. So I have to buy, I'm just going to get it off of Amazon, some extra nail glue and some of the primer. So it just dehydrates your nail a little bit so that they can stick a little bit better, because, you know, your nails have oils and you need to dry them out in order for the stuff to stick. So I got those, and then I got a whole bunch of clothing items. So they had really cute PJs, and they had black ones that had little pumpkins all over them, and it was like a top and pants, but they only came in small, medium, large, extra large, and I'm a 2XL. I'm a fluffy girl, and there's no way that the extra large pants were going to fit, so I didn't even bother getting them. It's just really unfortunate because a lot of their other clothing comes in the 2XL, but none of the pajamas that they had there were. I was so disappointed because I really wanted those little pumpkin ones. But we did get a couple of tops. Should have told Buddy Guy that I didn't need the hangers, but whatever. So first, I got an actual Spirit Halloween like long-sleeved sweatshirt, jumper, whatever. So it does have the Spirit Halloween logo on the front, and then it says, "So much fun, it's scary," down the arm. So I don't have a whole lot of sweatshirts that aren't hoodies. So this one is only an XL, but it seemed very large. So I'm hoping that that's gonna fit. And then I got a Camp Crystal Lake. So since Friday the 13th, and it says on the front, on the bottom, enjoy nature. And then down the arms, it has some Jason symbology, I guess. It has target practice, axe throwing, arts and crafts, pumpkin carving, first aid. So it's all like different kills from the movies. So I thought that was super cute. I don't have a lot of like long sleeve shirts. I have mostly t-shirts, and I love having my arms covered. So I'm very pasty, and going out in the sun is not fun. So long sleeve shirts are always a good thing. And then the third one I got very simple. So it's just a skeleton. So I thought that would be pretty cool to, oh, that's the back and this is the front. So there you go. It's actually double-sided. I didn't even realize it was double-sided. So that's awesome, and it has like the bones down the arms and stuff too. So I could even get some skeleton hand gloves and wear with this one. So I got 3 long sleeve shirts. Usually I come home with a couple of t-shirts, but really glad that they have the long sleeve shirts in the bigger sizes this year. Not cheap, but you know, you can never have too many spooky shirts, in my opinion. So I have rambled on for way too long. I have to go upstairs. We've got to get a little bit of lunch. We're going to relax for a bit, and then I'm going to get some reading done. So I'll check in with you guys a little bit later this afternoon. Okay, so I just finished recording a whole bunch of videos. It's been really hard trying to keep up with my regularly scheduled videos and pre-filming all of the stuff for October. Super hard. I think if I do this again next year, I might just take off a month and like pre-film everything and then put it up, because it's tough. But anyway, House of Small Shadows. So I'm about 40 or so pages into this, and the setup of this is going really well. I'm really enjoying it. So like I said before, Adam Nevill's ability to write atmosphere is almost unparalleled. It's so good. So because I got so much filming done, I haven't read a whole lot of this yet, but I wanted to touch base with you guys because I'm pretty soon going to be starting my evening routine here. So I'm going to be going up and getting a bath, getting all this makeup off. I love, like, I live for bath time. So I'm going to go up and get a pumpkin bath. I've got the pumpkin vanilla pumpkin stuff from Body Shop. So I'm gonna go up and do that, and I'm gonna continue to read House of Small Shadows, and then it's gonna be date night. So Matt and I are gonna be putting together a spooky charcuterie board, and we're having some wings and stuff, and I'm not sure what we're gonna watch. So I think we might watch Dolls. I haven't seen it before. I'm really hoping that they have it on iTunes, because on Amazon it was like 30 bucks and it would have taken like a month to deliver. So obviously it was like a rip and coming in from somewhere else. And so I'm hoping I can get it on iTunes, but our backup, if we can't get Dolls, we're just gonna go ahead and watch Annabelle, which is one of my favorite movies. So I'll let you guys know what we end up watching. I'll share our spooky charcuterie and all of that. And because we're kind of settling in for the evening now, I'm gonna sign off for today, and I will touch base with you guys in the morning, because tomorrow is going to be a relaxation day, and I'm hoping to get tons of reading done. And you know, us introverts, we find it hard when we have a day where we're out a lot. So like today we had grocery shopping, we went to Canadian Tire, we went out for breakfast, we went to Spirit, like all the things, and then we had to clean up and put all the groceries away. So I'm tired. So I'm gonna go do my evening routine, and I will touch base with you guys in the morning. Okay, so we're all ready for date night. Just wanted to share what was on our charcuterie board with you guys. So we have some dips. First of all, we've got some Dijon mustard over here. And this is a little skull full of red pepper dip. And back there we've got some tzatziki. We've got crackers and baguette. And didn't know we put that on there, but that's, my dog is sneezing. That's honey garlic sausage right there. We've got some carrots and strawberries. And over here we've got some grape tomatoes. We've got mustard pretzels and nuts. It's a really good mix. We got it at Costco. And then for the rest of the meat, so we have prosciutto, and there's some spicy Genoa salami, mild Genoa salami, and over there we've got some Cuba de Parma, pickles of course. What else have we got on here? Oh, the cheeses. So I've got a camembert, and over here we've got a Gouda, and back there it's actually a cashew cheese. So it's a vegan cheese, and it's really good. So I was vegan for like 4 years, mostly vegan, and this just carried on. So if you can get it, it's called Nuts to You cheese, and they make really good cashew cheese. And then we've got some accoutrement over here. So we've got a little cauldron full of shrimp, and we've got some wings and a skull. And that's pretty much our dinner. So of course this is going to take us through the entire night, and probably not going to eat it all. Of course, whatever we don't eat we'll pack up and have for lunch tomorrow.
My God, have mercy on your soul!
Hey guys, so I'm actually refilming this sequence because I lost the clip that I did a couple of days ago on Sunday. So I started editing today and it was totally gone. So as you saw where we left it off, we did actually watch Annabelle and Annabelle Creation over the weekend. So I love both movies, and I was a little bit bummed out because we didn't get to watch Dolls, which is the 1986 movie, and I had checked on iTunes and they only had like some movie that was put out in 2019, which I didn't know anything about. So I was like, screw it, I'll order it off of Amazon, we can watch it another time. And we just rewatched Annabelle, like I said, which is one of our favorite movies. So we watched the first one on Saturday, and then we watched the second one. So super happy we got to watch rewatch both of those, because we do typically watch them around the Halloween season, and it was really overcast on the weekend, so we just shut the curtains and it was super dark and it was really spooky. So really enjoyed our spooky charcuterie and watching Annabelle, and I got tons of reading done so far for House of Small Shadows. So just re-talking again about because of the footage that I lost. So this book is pretty good. It did get off to kind of a little bit of a slow burn start. It is a very slow burn horror. So I'm about 100 pages from the end now, so I'm right into kind of the thick of what's going on. But right at the beginning of the book, it was really kind of a slow burn, took a little bit to get going. Probably the first 100 pages or so were just setting up the story. But what I really enjoyed about the first part of the book was that the two women that live in Red House, so one woman is M.H. Mason's niece, and her name is Edith. She's confined to a wheelchair, and she's a super crotchety old lady and really cranky, very straight and to the point, and really spooky. So when Catherine arrives, she's wearing like a full-on black Victorian dress, and she's really pasty. So she's a creepy figure, and like I said, very cranky old lady. So Catherine has a bit of a time with her, and the other lady that's living there is her housekeeper. So she's very cranky as well, and Catherine finds it really hard to talk to both of these women. But what I really enjoyed about the first part of this book is when Catherine is at Red House, and this continues on and gets more and more through the story, is that it seems like she's completely cut off from the rest of the world. Like there's no modern stuff in the house whatsoever. Like she doesn't have cell phone service, she's cut off. Everything is really ancient, even the dinnerware and stuff that they eat off of. Like because she's an antique dealer, she's like, you know, it would be worth a fortune, stuff from way back in the Victorian days. And she starts to see all of these creepy, the taxidermy and the marionettes and everything from M.H. Mason's collection. And then Edith is telling the story of kind of like the man behind the genius, and things are getting really creepy. So I really enjoyed kind of the story that unraveled behind all of these puppets and marionettes and all of the taxidermy and everything, because they're depicted in particular scenes. And no spoilers, but like Catherine is just blown away by how all of these things are put together and what she's there to assess, and she's starting to think to herself, like, this is going to be big, this is going to be huge. So the story behind that and the story of M.H. Mason himself, I really liked. It's very dark and it's very kind of twisty, and it's a very deep story behind it, but the deeper she gets into it, the darker it gets. And then kind of juxtaposed between what's going on at Red House, we get a little bit of Catherine's past and Catherine's present. So in her past, she has darkness in herself as well, and she has a series of what she calls trances, where she's kind of transported back, and so we can see things that were happening in her past and how it kind of shaped who she is and all of this kind of stuff. And then besides that, there's stuff going on in Catherine's present life that is also part of the story, and I think this is going to start wrapping in towards the end here too. Like I said, I've got about 100 pages to go, a little less than 100 pages, but as of right now, I'm like, I think that whole section could have been left out. Like the stuff from her past is really intriguing and it's very dark, and then of course you got all of the dark stuff that's going on at Red House, and I really like that because it just sucks you into this story, and you do feel very cut off from reality and from modern day society, just like Catherine is at Red House. So really enjoying it. So like I said, I'm kind of right in the thick of things where she's actually uncovered a whole bunch of crap that's going on And so she's very much sucked into this story, and she's trying to, you know, figure everything out and bring it around to the end. So overall, I'm really enjoying this. It's shaping up to be probably about a 3 to 3.5 star read. I just wish it had maybe cut out the part of Catherine's present, because I didn't really care about it, but we'll see what happens in the last 100 pages. So even though it was a little bit slow to get started in the beginning, it is an opportunity to just really enjoy his writing. And it says on the front here, Britain's answer to Stephen King. And I think Adam Nevill's writing is much better than Stephen King's writing from what I've read. I haven't read King like widely, but I think I enjoy Adam Nevill's writing a lot better. So that's where I am with House of Small Shadows. So like I said, I've got about 90 to 100 pages to go. Really, really good, really enjoying it, and the story itself is really, really super dark. So besides that, I pulled down a couple of books off the shelf that have to do with creepy dolls. So I wanted to do a couple of book suggestions here. I haven't read any of these yet, but they all revolve around like this creepy doll sort of theme, and maybe there's a couple of books here that you guys can add to your TBRs as well. So the first is Cuckoo Song by Frances Hardinge. So really super creepy cover. And so this is this an anthology? No, I don't believe it is. And then on the inside, it's really hard to read the back because it's green on black, and I find that really hard to read. So on the inside it just says, from master storyteller Frances Hardinge comes the unnerving tale of one girl's struggle to confront her darkest fears in order to triumph over a world where nothing is certain. So that sounds pretty creepy. Let's just see. Yeah, the text is fine. It's just really hard to read that green on the black on the background. But super creepy cover. Sounds pretty good. I've never actually read anything by Frances Hardinge, so let me know if you guys have. And then we have The Collector by K.R. Alexander. So I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but the eyes on the doll are spot varnished, so they kind of glow when it hits the light. So on the back here it says, never ever go by the house in the woods. So of course this is a middle grade book, and it says, Josie always liked visiting her grandmother's house, but when she's forced to move there, she starts to feel something is a little off. Her grandmother has some very strange rules. Number 1, never leave your windows open after dark. Number 2, no dolls in the house. And number 3, never ever go by the house in the woods. So really, really super short little book. And I suppose instead of reading House of Small Shadows, I could have read some of these smaller ones, but I really did want to get to that one. And it says in the front, once she has you, she'll never let you go. So definitely spooky dolls going here. And little Josie is being told never ever to bring dolls in the house. So I wonder how that's gonna go. So that sounds pretty good. And then, of course, Mary Downing Hahn. So Mary Downing Hahn has a few creepy doll books. So this is The Doll in the Garden, and it says, she had been warned never to go there. But as 10-year-old Ashley followed the beautiful white cat through a small opening in the hedge, she stepped into an enchanted place, a place where she might find the answers. Who is the little girl with the golden curls and the huge sad eyes? Whose voice cries out in the dark of night? Why does the white cat cast no shadow in the moonlight? Who is the owner of the beautiful doll found buried in the garden? And if Ashley discovers the truth, can she ever go back? So if you find a doll buried in a garden, put it back. Don't take it with you. Just rebury it. So we also have another Mary Downing Hahn. So this is The Puppet's Payback and Other Chilling Tales. So this is a story collection, really, really short little story collection from Mary Downing Hahn. And just look at that ventriloquist dummy on the front. That looks super, super creepy. So this sounds pretty good, and I've never read any of her story collections before, so that sounds creepy. And then we have The Others, They Would Rather Die Than Become Mothers by Sarah Blau. So I got this one in an Abominable book box, and this takes place in Tel Aviv, and there is basically a serial killer going around, and I think he has a thing for women who don't want to be mothers, and he's either killing them or kidnapping them or something, and when they're found they have doll heads or doll parts glued to their hands. So of course we have the doll's head on the front here with the ropes. So that sounds pretty good. And it takes place in Tel Aviv. I can't remember if I just said that, but it takes place in Tel Aviv. So somewhere that's, you know, outside of the norm for what I usually read. And then last up we have the doll collection. So this is another anthology, and it says 17 brand new tales of dolls from Jeffrey Ford, Shannon McGuire, Joyce Carol Oates, Carrie Vaughn, and many more, edited by Ellen Datlow. So these books that are put out by Ellen Datlow or edited by her are really, really good. So a total anthology that has to do with creepy dolls. So hoping to get to some more of these. Unfortunately, with all of the editing and videoing and all of that I had to do, I could only read one of the bigger books. So for House of Small Shadows, like I said, I've got about another 90-100 pages to go. So once I finish it up, I will touch base with you guys and let you know my overall thoughts. So we'll see you guys in the next clip. Hey friends, so I have finished House of Small Shadows, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I thought it would be fun if I threw in a couple of TV episodes here that had to do with creepy dolls as well. So what did I do? We talked about some movies, we talked about Annabelle and dolls, we talked about some books that I have on my shelves that have to do with creepy dolls, and some episodes that I've seen that are some of my favorites, I have to say, because like I said before, creepy dolls are absolutely right up my alley. They totally freak me out. So from Are You Afraid of the Dark, of course, which is one of our favorite shows, in episode 3 is The Tale of the Doll Maker, and this young girl goes to visit, I believe, her aunt and uncle. And she goes to stay kind of like for the summer sort of thing, and she realizes that a friend that she had out there has gone missing, and then she discovers this mysterious dollhouse, and this whole story is crazy, and I absolutely love it. So I don't want to give anything away, but the whole story unravels really, really well, and I'm sure you could guess at what was happening. But just the way that they did the dolls in the show and the premise of what was happening, I never want to be around a creepy dollhouse ever again. So that one's really, really good. Again, that's The Tale of the Doll Maker out of season 3 of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And then out of R.L. Stine's Haunting Hour, which is a great show. It's not very old, like it came out, you know, in the past, say, 7 or 8 years. And the very first episode, the first 2 episodes are part 1 and part 2 of an episode called Really You. So this young girl gets a life-size doll that looks like exactly like her, but then the doll starts to have a mind of its own, and that's a super creepy story as well. So really, really enjoy that one. And then the last one it's not really a doll, so it's a ventriloquist puppet. So in the very first season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, we have the episode called The Puppet Show, and some of the Sunnydale High students are basically being cut open and their organs are being harvested. And then this one really creepy dude that's in Buffy's class has a ventriloquist dummy that Buffy thinks that the dummy is the one that's harvesting the organs, and she thinks he's possessed like by a demon. So that's a really, really good story. It's one of my favorite episodes of Buffy. But then again, I mean, most episodes of Buffy are my favorite, so I can't remember if I've put out my Buffy episode yet, but I do go through the top 5, and that one is not in there. So there you go, I got to talk about another Buffy episode. So those are 3 really, really great TV episodes that have to do with creepy dolls also. So if you're doing a marathon of your own, I would definitely throw those ones in there. So as for my final thoughts on this book, House of Small Shadows by Adam Nevill, I really like this book. I'm giving it 3.5 stars. Like I said before, you know, it was a little bit slow getting off to the start, but having said that, you know, Adam Neville's writing really did shine through in those sections. I just really feel like it could have been condensed down a little bit, and I spoke about the 2 things that were going on with Catherine. So we find out things from her past, which is a really interesting story, and how they wrap it all together. I really like that aspect. And then something that's going on in her current state, and it does come back up at the end of the book. So I think it was you know, necessary to have that in there. I just hate it when people take, especially romance sort of notions, or like what's going on in people's relationships, they put it into a horror book, but it doesn't really have any purpose to be in there. But I do have to say they did bring it around at the end again. So, you know, overall, I really enjoyed this. The whole story of M.H. Mason and his whole genius behind making the taxidermy and making the dolls and stuff like that was really twisted. And I really like that fact. And then, of course, we have any time that she's in Red House, she feels completely cut off kind of from all society, and Adam Nevill really does a fantastic job at writing that sort of atmosphere, and I really did enjoy just, you know, just reading his writing. And so yeah, I mean, overall it was pretty good. It didn't blow me out of the water. I have to say that my favorite book from him is still No One Gets Out Alive. That book is just so fantastic. So like I said, overall I enjoyed this. I enjoyed spending my time with the creepy dolls, with the book recommendations and the movies that we watched and everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a question or a comment down below, because you know I love chatting with you guys. But until next time, stay spooky everybody. Bye.